Good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Nolan. Just wanted to pop in here with a real quick video about secondary and primary sources. This seems to be something that confuses kids a lot. There's also a YouTube video in today's agenda about this that may explain it better. I'm a big believer that sometimes you just need to hear it the way you need to hear it. So maybe mine works better for you. Maybe someone else's works better for you. So I'm going to roll you guys over here to my chalkboard. Get me some chalk. And we're going to talk a little bit about secondary and primary sources. So first of all, what's the difference? Primary, that means it was there. Okay, so when we're talking about historical things, a primary source was at the event. So if you want to study, the 1960s, you should interview my dad. Why? Because he was alive in the 1960s. I was born in 1979. Okay? If you have a newspaper from the 1960s, that was there. It's from that time period. If you go to your textbook and look up the 1960s, your textbook wasn't there. Your textbook is taking that primary source and creating something new with it, which is a secondary source. So here I'm going to show you a couple books. This book is called We Die Alone, World War II Epic of Escape and Endurance. This is actually a man's story about how he went to Norway and was trying to be a spy, and he had all this crazy stuff going on. Here's the problem. The author of this book, he never talked to the guy who did it. The guy who was the spy, he didn't write this book. Okay, so this dude right here did a bunch of research, and then he wrote about it. So this is not a primary source because even though it's a true story, it's not directly from someone who was there. It's filtered through other people who were there. Okay, so this one doesn't work. It's another book I pulled off my shelf today, The Diary of Samuel Pepys. Well, the word diary is a good clue. Okay, Samuel Pepys was a guy who actually kept a diary for like 20 years or something in England. Every day he wrote down what happened. This is a primary source. This has been used a lot in all kinds of historical classes, all kinds of historical works. This man documented life in England from 1660 to 1669, so 9 years, a little less than 20. But this is a primary source. This is a man's journal, and he was there. He saw these things. If you want to know about the Great Fire of London, for whatever reason, he lived through it. He wrote about it. It's in here. Okay, so this would be primary because it's original to the time period. It was there. Now, this book is a Civil War book. It's a picture book. The photo on the front is a primary source. The book itself is not. Why? Because it's made up of all kinds of different primary sources. So any particular image you pulled out of here, primary source. This drawing right here is primary source. Some of the battle maps in here are not, though. They're recreations from the original. Okay, so there's a map of, get that in there. There's a map, but that map wasn't there. That map was created later. So sometimes you can find a primary source within a secondary source. It's confusing. But the one thing you want to remember is a primary source was there. So that's what I have to tell you about a primary source. I'm not really going to talk too much about secondary because all you need to know about secondary is it isn't primary. Okay? Cool. Good luck with this. Make sure you watch the YouTube video as well, and then there's an exit ticket activity for you.